range. Get it.
Range.
Okay.
Showing the
Snacks?
range.
Why does he have that nickname?
I don't know, Richard. Why would you suggest? Anyway,
Goes Mike.
I thought it was delightful, and with that, we
love
welcome you
it.
back to another hour of Get Up. We come to you live every morning from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17, and here is what we have in store in this hour. We're going to get up with the King and the Crown Prince. They had very different nights. One is headed to a title, the other may have lost his best chance. Then, the coach of the Skins talks, and with one sentence, throws the entire top of the draft into total disarray. Wait until you hear what he had to say. And of course, it is 2 weeks to the day Tom Brady makes his decision. We've got the one place he can win immediately and make it work for his old team too. As we get up with you, starting right now, we welcome you to another hour of Get Up, and we are presented by Wendy's. And we proudly present for your viewing pleasure Anthony Davis back and literally better than ever for the Lakers as they took on the Sixers. And he showed you, Jay Will, everything in the repertoire last night.
37 points, 13 rebounds. He once again is showing everybody why he belongs in the MVP conversation.
I mean, look at him taking it to the hole. He's doing it from outside. He's doing it from inside, Richard Jefferson. Look at the handles.
Yeah.
You don't seem impressed. What do you mean?
You're a hater. It's a 90-year-old Al Horford with nobody else on that roster.
What about that three?
Yes, do it against the Clippers. Do it against the Bucks. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. And I love Anthony Davis, but I need to see it against a great team.
How about this one? Does this look like an old man? Throwing it down. Anthony Davis, 26 in the first half, finished with 37. Lakers were down as many as 13 in the first half. They wound up 11 at halftime, and then LeBron takes over the second half. Look at the range.
Look, for 35 years old, he's still doing things like this. I think he's so impactful on the game, almost a triple-double last night for LeBron James.
Yeah, he had 22 and 14 assists, and then how about this? Fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go, we're playing it out, and LeBron, we have liftoff.
By the way, he casually just takes off from outside the paint. Just casually at 35 years old.
Yeah, there's nothing casual.
Very few of us could do that.
This guy is remarkable, and the Lakers look awfully good as they win, albeit against a depleted Sixers team playing without Embiid and without Simmons. We understand that. But I want to go back to the place that we began this morning because, Richard Jefferson, you told me that if Anthony Davis plays like that, what happens?
They win a championship, right? But mainly because I don't believe Kyle Kuzma can give us any more than what Kyle Kuzma is giving us. So the only way for the Lakers to really raise a level is for Anthony Davis to play that type of basketball. But he's got to do it against the dominant teams. At the end of the day, he's going to have 25, 13, and 6. That's what his numbers will be. But it's how impactful those numbers are and who he does it against. If he does it against the Clippers, against Milwaukee, they can win a championship.
The Lakers, they worked out Dion Waiters, and I think that's a really big workout for them because I still think they need somebody else who can create off the dribble. You know, we've seen those stats, what they say about when LeBron's off the court, and I think AD can take over, but you still need somebody else to make the game easier. If you're able to get a guy like Dion Waiters, I think that can take your game to the next level.
By the way, you said you want to see AD do it against Giannis. You're going to get the chance. They're going to play the Bucks this week and then the Clippers this weekend, so we're going to know a lot more about them. But, Seth, you are very impressed with AD.
Yeah, you guys are both wrong. First of all, Kyle Kuzma has a role, all right? His role is to stretch the defense, corner space, and knock down shots. That's his role.
So
Anthony Davis' role is to be a dominant player. He's the third best player in the NBA right now, and he's going to show it this weekend. He can run the floor. He can protect the rim. He can defend on the perimeter and switch. He can make threes. It's got to be his personality. And what I mean by that is when he was at Kentucky, fourth most shot attempts on that national championship team. He's got to see himself as a dominant player. And I think he will see himself, and I think LeBron will bring that out in him. But don't compare him to Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma has a mini role, just like the other three guys that play with LeBron and Anthony Davis.
I understand the point you were making. You're not comparing him to Kuzma, but you're suggesting that it's not going to be ultimately about Kuzma. It's going to be about Davis. I get it. Do you agree with that notion? If I said to you right now, two of the three best players in the world are on the same team, the Lakers, would you agree?
I would say no, but we're splitting hairs because I would take Bron, I would take Giannis, and probably Kawhi. I would take Kawhi. But again, we're talking about 3 or 4. Like they have two of the top 5, 100%.
All I'm trying to say to you guys, it's not enough. It's not enough because if LeBron James gets in foul trouble, then this is a different team. You need somebody else that can create off the dribble and make plays easier from somebody else. And if you're saying that Rajon Rondo is going to be the guy you're going to count on to do that, we've all seen their production drastically go down when LeBron James is off the court. That's all I'm saying.
Joel, I agree with you, but if Giannis gets in foul trouble, you're going to see a different Milwaukee Bucks team. If any great player gets in foul trouble, they're going to be a different team. The thing is, the Lakers have
the Clippers.
Lakers have the luxury. Now, I agree with the Clippers. The Lakers have the luxury of they have Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis, when he imposes his will on a game, is the top 3 player in the NBA, top 5 player in the NBA, a guy that you can win with no matter who's around.
I think the one thing that we can agree on is if everyone plays their best version of basketball, the Clippers are the best team. If they play their best. Yes. Now, the one thing that could upset that is if Anthony Davis raises his level. That's the one thing to me that could change that series.
See, that to me is fascinating because I have always felt basketball is a game where the team that is the best player wins. The Lakers would have the 2 best players. They would have 2 players better than any 2 on the Clippers. But the Clippers are so much deeper. So we really will find out which of those 2 is more valuable a little bit this weekend when they meet up, but certainly in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think the Clippers, their depth overall, even with that second unit, having Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, guys that can score, like that's dangerous, right? Like their bench, I think, had like 58 points in the last game they played.
How big is the second unit in the playoffs?
Oh, it's to me, it's very big over series because it gives you the ability to switch things up. You want to play small, you want to play big, foul trouble, in and out. You want just different ways to play.
Again, the Lakers will play Milwaukee and the Clippers over the course of the next 5 days. So we'll find out a lot.
0-2.
We'll show you what Zion did last night coming up a little bit later, but let's work to the NFL.
He's strong, he's aggressive. That's the thing. Look, he can go against bigger players much easier. But I mean bigger, I pretty much mean taller.
Stand by, throw it up, and throw it down. Lonzo to Zion. Jay Will.
This is what Zion does so well, just running in transition and really that extra bounce and that explosion that he brings to a team.
And look at that play. But they're just getting out of his way.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You going to get in the way of that train?
There is no better show right now than Zion in the open floor. And then here he is again working hard on the offensive glass. He would get stuff done last night, but this was a close game. Look, they've got 4 guys around him, Uncle Seth.
4 guys around him, not enough. Because he's going to play right through that contact. He's so quick off the floor.
Hart, Zion. Yes, he had 5 dunks in the first half. Let's go to the fourth quarter because this was an important game for the Pelicans who were chasing a playoff spot. Timberwolves are down 4. Zion getting caught there on the defensive end. The Timberwolves were 8 of 14 when Zion was the primary. Pelicans are down, and they're going to fall out of this thing. Look at the Timberwolves getting it done in transition ahead of the pack. Zion would finish with 25 points and 8 rebounds, but a bad loss for the Pelicans. They lose by 5 at home to the T-Wolves, and so New Orleans falls 4 games out of the 8 seed in the Western Conference. But here's the good news. They do have the 3rd easiest remaining schedule. The Grizzlies, who have that spot right now, have the hardest. Our analytics, however, see Portland as the team most likely to grab the 8th spot. So I feel like there were 2 conversations.
That just changed because I feel like 2 days ago it was by far the
It
Pelicans.
was New Orleans.
That's the way
I think last
when,
night's game.
When people win and lose, the numbers are going to keep changing, Jay.
Yeah, sorry, Jay.
Wow, thanks.
The nastiness
2 geniuses
between the
right
here. There are 2
one game.
Yeah.
2 pieces of this conversation to have. One of them is about Zion. And did we find, I'm not going to say a fatal flaw, but a flaw in his game last night on the defensive end?
Yes, the team scored 97 points in 33 minutes when Zion was on the court. And we're going to see it down in these tapes. Like the pace of the game was so fast, it was at 117. And when Zion was off the court, it was at 101. But these are just effort plays. You have to stop the basketball. You're the only person in between your man and the rim. Once again, off of PNR. Just the lack of effort to get out to close out on Herman Gomez, who had 19 points last night. Once again, off of PNR, dribble handoff. Okay, here it comes. And just he's able to turn the corner. So I think there's still room for improvement. But obviously, this is something that teams are starting to do now. If you pick up the pace of the game, you take away Zion's legs defensively.
Coach, what do you see there? What
I see a total lack of effort. Here's the deal. Everyone talks about the 3rd easiest schedule left in the NBA. That's great. Then beat the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Because you know what the deal is? I don't care what your schedule is. This is a game you had to win.
Correct.
If you're going to be a playoff team, you win this game. If you don't show up, if you don't defend, if you don't play hard, you know what? That's a game you can't get back.
Yes, RJ, let's talk about it from that standpoint because they're playing him in the back-to-backs. They play against Dallas tonight. They're playing him because they're trying to make this playoff push, and now they're 4 games out.
They're not going to make the postseason. They're not going to make the postseason only because they put themselves at such a deficit, and it's not their fault. Their best player was not there for 60 games of the season. So my thing about the way that he is playing right now is so impressive. But there's going to be flaws. We're talking about a 19-year-old. Yes, he knows the dunks are great. The fast breaks are great. That's what young players a lot of times focus on. But the little things, the transition defense, the guarding pick and roll, that's the next area that he has to make a jump in order for them and him to be a high-level team.
The Pelicans look like a really young basketball team, and they are a young basketball team. Not being ready to play, not defending, not playing hard, giving up the easy scoring opportunities, not being connected defensively. They didn't look like a playoff team.
See, their future is extraordinarily bright with all those young guys, so that's not a problem. But it is for Jay and me because we have a bet with Jalen Rose.
That's a dumb bet.
That the Pelicans are going to make the playoffs.
That's a stupid bet.
No, what's really dumb? They were 2 games out, literally 3 days ago, RJ. Like, they were on the verge. So these are games. It is fluid, but these are games that if they had won these games,
it's about
the way that
leaking
Memphis has the
fluid.
hardest schedule,
Those games are going to be leaking
actually
fluid.
feasible. So when Richard gets up in there and starts talking about things that this definitely not happened, he has no idea.
They're not going to make the postseason.
Gentlemen.